What's going on? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world. What we're going to talk about today is how we're going to play the Apple and the Tesla split for next week, right? And if you get into this video, I know it's late summer and it's hot where you're at. Give me a thumbs up just because it's hot, because I'm down here in Orlando, Florida, and it's been so hot the past few days. It's been ridiculous. Like, I like the heat, but it's been extremely hot. But this is the time of the year where it gets very, very, very hot. Like, this is the hottest time of the year. So not only is it extremely hot, it's very humid. So when you go outside, it's almost like just waves of heat are hitting you in your face. But let's go ahead and transition to the video because we don't want to sidetrack it. And this is going to be a really good video for somebody that is looking to kind of understand how to play these particular splits, how they can put themselves in the best position to be successful. And I want to give a disclaimer. This is not investment advice. This is not advice on how you should invest in these particular stocks. You should just look at this as education and entertainment. Let's go ahead and get into it. So what's going to make this video different than a lot of people is I'm not going to talk about what you should buy from a stock standpoint or an option standpoint. What I'm going to talk about is being prepared for this particular situation, and we're going to go into what I mean by that. This is going to be a very fast-moving situation in my mind, right? So in my mind, when these particular stocks open up next Monday, right, the situation is going to move very, very rapidly, right? And I anticipate it moving very rapidly to the upside. And so for you to take advantage of that, you have to be prepared. So here's some of the things that we're doing to be prepared, and I would suggest or encourage you to investigate these things, and maybe you can implement or add them into what you're currently doing. So the first thing is making sure that you have some redundancy, right, in your ability to trade or buy stock. And what I mean by that is that you may have one brokerage account open, right? So let's say you got a brokerage account A, right? That's open. That's what you're operating of. You need to already in your mind imagine a scenario in which you're not going to have access to that brokerage account. So then in a scenario in which, because of a technological issue or tech issue, you don't have access to that brokerage account, what is going to be your plan B, right? So what is your plan B or your contingency plan if your plan A to use that particular brokerage is not available to you? What's your plan B? So our plan B is to have a secondary brokerage account. So what that means is that for us to make sure that we have that secondary brokerage account, we have to make sure that brokerage account is up and operating. So because we see a lot of times, for most in my experience, my brokerage, I usually have tech issues with my brokerage in the AM. So normally when the market opens, I have tech issues, right, with my brokerage, right? So the question is, how do I manage that? Because if I wake up on Monday morning and I have tech issues with my brokerage, by the time I finally get in, the price may have run away from me, right? Or I may not feel like chasing it. So now I got to wait for a dip to get in, and I might take 2 weeks for this thing to dip based on what I believe the momentum is going to be behind this particular stock. And it may not dip. You're looking at Apple and Tesla. They may not dip till end of the year, the way this thing is going. So you got to have a secondary account. Also, if you have a primary account desktop, right, do you have access to that on mobile? So I'm on Ally. I'm on Ally Invest. I also have Ally Invest on my mobile. Because what we saw a few weeks ago was that TD Ameritrade, I think Thinkorswim went down, right, on the desktop, but you can use Thinkorswim on the mobile. So all of these particular, is this redundancy built into your operations, right? To where if one platform is down, can you go mobile? If it's down on desktop or mobile, can you go to the secondary platform, right? Now, here's the next thing you need to look at. If you open up an alternative account, is the account funded? It's not good enough just to have it open. Is it funded? And because today is Monday, most people are going to see this video Monday or Tuesday morning. You have to hurry up and get the account funded, because you may have a holding period in which the funds have to be verified in your account through your financial institution. You want to get through that holding period as fast as possible, so on Monday you can be ready to go. So if you're going to open up the secondary account, get that open, get money transferred to that account right today or tomorrow, right? And go ahead and get through that holding period, because I heard like Webull does a 3 to 4 day holding period before you can even use the funds that are in the account. So you got to make sure not only is the account open, you have funds in there that you have access to pass the holding period. right? If you are an options trader and you open up an alternative or a secondary account, have you been approved for options on that particular platform? Because there may be a process in which you may have to do an interview, you may have to fill out an application to be approved for options on that platform. So then that's what you need to do. Then the last thing you need to do is you need to come in with what price do you desire to pay for the share, right? What is your entry? If you can't get that, what is your secondary entry? If you can't get that, what is your third entry, right? And then if you can't get that, are you willing to set a market to buy the stock? Do you want it so bad that you'll put a market order and say, well, whatever the price is when this order hits the floor, I'm willing to buy at that particular order. The same thing if you have options. Looking at the options, what strike prices are you looking at? What are you willing to pay for those particular strikes? What expiration dates do you want? And then if you can't get that, what is your secondary? What is your third? And then are you willing to do a market just to get in position? Right? Next thing, what is your timetable to hold these? For me, purposely, for my personal opinion, if I get Apple, I'm not going to sell Apple. If I get Tesla, I will probably be open to selling Tesla at some time. I'm not going to be open to sell Apple, right? To me, Apple is a stock that you can hold 20 or 30 years, right? So you need to come in knowing before you buy it how long you're willing to hold it, because if you see a fall off or a spike, is that all it's going to take for you to get out of the particular position? And then in reality, your capital could have been used in another place. You could have got a better return. So what is your long-term objectives to get these particular positions if you're looking to buy the actual stock as opposed to trading the options? So really the plan is about preparedness, being prepared, having some redundancy in your particular operations where if one situation doesn't work, you got a contingency plan to go through that can replicate what you want to do with the first situation, but it's there for you in the second situation. You make sure that your funding is set up and all your funds are in order and they've been approved, right? And it can take time for that to happen. So you want to get on top of that as soon as possible. And you may even want to consider even a third account, right? You can never have too many brokerage accounts based on how you operate and what your objectives are as a person that's buying securities, buying assets, and also as a trader. But it's better to have all these alternatives available to you, right? And you not need them than to get on a live situation, right? And then you don't have these alternatives available to you. The last thing I want to tell you is this. You need to do a walkthrough. What do I mean by walkthrough? If you can't get into your first account, how long will it take you to get into your second account? So don't set the account up, right? Get it funded, but you don't know how to get inside the actual platform and buy what you need to buy. So while you have free time this week, if you get the secondary account set up, you get it funded, start from logging in. When you log in, what is a pathway from a workflow standpoint, from a user interface standpoint that you need to go to put yourself in a position to execute the orders that you want to execute? Because one of the biggest challenges I see with people on brokerage platforms is they don't know what steps they need to go through to execute what they want. So you don't want to be figuring that out on Monday. You want to already know before Monday. So you want to do what we call in sports a walkthrough. Walk through the scenario. Just do a dry run. See what you need to do to put yourself in position to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So when you go live and you got to move in that particular direction, it's not all new to you. Your body already has some basic muscle memory. You got some understanding of what things you need to do, and you can go ahead and really easily move into that particular direction. So I wanted to give this out to you because I want everybody to be prepared to take advantage of this situation, because in my personal opinion, it's going to be a very fast moving situation. And the people that are prepared are going to be the people that are going to have the best ability to take advantage. The people that are going to play wait and see and play this reactionary game are going to get left chasing this situation, and they may never be able to get back in position, right? So I wanted to give this out. If you know somebody that can get value from this, share it out. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, and I'll talk to you later.